Before you invest a single dollar, there's something you need to know. Most people think investing is about picking the right stock, timing the market, or waiting until they're making more money. But the truth is, people who are building real wealth aren't doing any of that. They're using simple strategies that turn quiet, everyday people into long term investors, even if they're starting from scratch. So, in this video, I'm breaking down investing for beginners step by step, the easiest beginner friendly investments to start with, and the mistakes you must avoid to build long term wealth. But before we get started, welcome back. I'm Crystal, former corporate finance girly turned entrepreneur and personal finance educator. I set out on a mission to help underserved and underrepresented communities master financial literacy and build generational wealth, one step at a time. So if you're ready to learn some simple, no fuss strategies on how to do just that, stick around. Let's start with the basics. Investing is using your money to make more money. For beginners, it really comes down to understanding how your money grows through compound interest and long term investing strategies. That's it. It's nothing fancy and it doesn't have to be scary, and it's certainly not just for rich people. When you invest, you're putting your money into assets that grow, like stocks, bonds, index funds, ETFs, real estate, or even crypto. Anyone can use investing to their advantage and make their money work for them. But here's the part nobody taught us growing up. If your money isn't growing, then it's shrinking. Every day you choose not to invest is another day your money is losing value due to inflation. Inflation eats away at your savings every single year. However, when you invest your money, ideally your portfolio should grow at a rate higher than inflation. And here's why that's so important. Inflation typically grows at about 3% per year, and in recent years has gotten up to over 8%. So let's say you have $20,000 sitting in a savings account. Even high yield savings accounts are only earning about 3 to 5% these days on average. So, over 10 years, that $20,000 would only grow to about $30,000. But if you invest that same $20,000 in an index fund that tracks the S&P 500 and has an average return of about 8%, your money could grow to about $45,000. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't use high yield savings accounts, but it can be used to hold smaller balances meant to cover some emergencies. But as you can see from the previous example, you could earn an extra $15,000 just by choosing a different investment account. Another critical aspect of investing is understanding portfolio diversification. Portfolio diversification simply means having a variety of investments so you don't put all your eggs in one basket. Diversification is one of the core principles of investing for beginners because it helps to manage risk. Your investment portfolio, whether it's a 401k, Roth IRA, or brokerage account, is simply the collection of everything you invest in. By spreading your money across different companies and asset types, you lower your risk. If all of our money is invested in one thing and that one thing fails, you could lose everything you've worked hard for. However, if you diversify your investments, even if one or two investments fail, you'd have others to offset your losses and balance things out. This is how long term wealth is built steadily and over time. But before you jump in, you need to build a foundation. And I know this isn't the fun part, but stick with me for a minute because this is very important. Investing without a foundation is like trying to build a house on sand. Before you put a single dollar into the market, get these three things in order. Number one, money management habits. Budgeting, periodically reviewing spending, understanding cash flow, all the things. I mean, if you can't manage $100 well, then you'll probably struggle to manage $100,000. Check out this video for more tips on money management habits. Number two, pay off high interest debt, especially credit cards. If you're paying 22% interest on a credit card while earning maybe 12% on an investment, then you're losing more money than you're saving. Pay cards down or off, free up that cash, then invest. Check out this video for 8 realistic ways to pay off debt fast. Number 3, build your emergency fund. At least 3 months of expenses if you're single, and 6 months of expenses if other people rely on you. This keeps you from needing to sell investments during emergencies, which is how losses get locked in. Losses are only realized when you sell your investments at a lower price than you purchased them. If you have an emergency when the market is down, you may have to sell investments at a lower price than you paid. So try to avoid doing that. And if you're on the road to building your emergency fund, check out this video with my strategy for saving $10,000. All right, so tell me, are you working on building your foundation before you jump into investing? Comment below, foundation first, if that's your plan. So before we get into this next part, here's a quick reminder. This video is for educational purposes only. What I'm about to explain to you should not be taken as financial advice. My goal is to give you the tools to make informed decisions on your own. I always recommend doing your own research before making any investment decisions. Now that that's out of the way, let's talk about what you can invest in. Low cost index funds and ETFs are my personal fave for beginners because they're low cost, they're diversified, they track the market, and my absolute favorite, they don't require stock picking skills. Focusing on investments like index funds or broad market ETFs can help spread risk around instead of betting it all on one company. Remember portfolio diversification? When you buy an index fund or an ETF, you're buying a basket of companies, not just one. And listen, try to avoid getting caught up in the meme stock craze. If you see or hear about the next big stock or crypto coin, ignore the hype and keep scrolling. Real wealth is built with these same old boring investments. Trust me, your stress levels will thank you later. When researching these options, always look for low cost options as fees can add up quickly. Look for ETFs with low expense ratios, ideally under 0.1%. These fees might seem small, but over time, they eat away at your returns. The lower the fees, the more money your portfolio has to grow. Companies like Vanguard, Fidelity, and Schwab offer low cost ETFs. Here's the list of a couple just to give you an idea of what to research. And remember, I'm highlighting some options out there for you to research further and determine if they're a good fit for your investment goals. If the information so far is already making you feel a bit more confident about starting your investing journey, hit that like button so more people can find this video and benefit from the information. Now let's talk about timing. Many people wholeheartedly believe they can time the market. Whether that's true or not, there's a saying. Time in the market beats timing the market. And that, I believe, is true. Investing early lets you take advantage of compounding. The sooner you start, the more time you have to grow and recover from market fluctuations. Also, starting early means your financial contributions can be much less because time is on your side. For example, if you start investing $300 a month at an 8% return at 20 years old, you could end up with $1 million portfolio by the time you turn 60. And only $144,000 of that would have been money you put in. The rest is growth from compound interest. But start at 30 instead? Well, the balance when you're 60 will be about $450,000. Still a great balance, but nearly half of what you'd have if you'd started just 10 years sooner. So that's why starting early matters, even if your contributions are small. I did this video not too long ago that explains the importance of compound interest and how it works. Check it out for further explanation. As we continue to talk about timing, let's review dollar cost averaging. Dollar cost averaging is the strategy of investing a fixed amount of money at regular intervals, no matter what the market is doing. It tends to smooth out price fluctuation and removes the emotion from the process. Instead of having to guess the perfect time to buy, you'd invest the same amount every month automatically. Using this method reduces your concern about market fluctuation. You just set up the automatic contribution from your checking account into your investment account and move on. Thinking that you'll know the exact time to enter the market or know the exact investment that will make you a millionaire overnight is a fantasy. The simplest path to building wealth through investing is in low cost index funds and ETFs. Contribute a set amount each month to your investment account, increasing it by maybe 1 to 5% each year, and you'll be fine. By doing this, you're not focusing on when to buy investments or market fluctuations. Your only concern is contributions and a monthly amount. When you're first starting out, it can be confusing and downright scary to know exactly where and how to start. While hitting a home run right out the gate should not be the goal, there are a few straightforward options for first time investors to consider. So, if you're a first time investor and wondering how to start investing step by step, let me tell you what I would do. Step one, I would first take advantage of my employer sponsored 401k and contribute at least up to the company match. An employer match is free money, so take it. Next, I'd open a Roth IRA account and I contribute the annual max and invest the money in low cost ETFs and index funds. With a Roth IRA, you're talking about long term tax free growth. You really can't beat that. Then I'd work to pay off high interest debt, focusing mainly on credit cards. Remember, those credit card interest rates will almost certainly outpace any investment opportunity. So those need to go as soon as possible. After that, or while I pay off high interest debt, and depending on how much money I could comfortably apply to debt payoff and savings, I start building my emergency fund because I wouldn't want a financial emergency to derail my progress. Then I'd go back to contributing to my 401k and I would aim to max it out, increasing contributions by about 1 to 5% each year until I reach the annual limit. And finally, I'd open a brokerage account and stick to my low cost ETFs and index funds. At that point, I also consider REITs to gain exposure to the real estate market without having to become a landlord. And that's it. Now, here's what I want you to be careful about. These are mistakes to avoid as a beginner investor. Mistake number one, procrastination. Waiting for the perfect time to start investing only costs you in the long run. This is the number one roadblock for people who want to start investing but feel intimidated. Don't aim for perfection, just aim to start. Mistake number two, chasing trends. Chasing market trends can lead to anxiety and unnecessary risk. Stick to the low cost investment options mentioned above and build wealth slowly and consistently. And mistake number three, materializing losses by selling out of investments during market dips. A dip isn't a loss until you sell it. So hold on to your investments, let the market recover because it historically always has, and ride that wave back up. Here's your reminder: make your money work harder than you. Every day you choose not to invest is a day you're delaying your wealth building journey. And hey, I get it. Investing can seem scary, but don't let fear or the idea that you need to be perfect at it keep you from starting. If you learned one thing from this video, comment below. My wealth building journey starts today. And if you found this video valuable, hit that like button and subscribe for more personal finance education to support your journey. And as you research investment options, check out this next video from my channel that further explains ETFs, index funds, and the power of the S&P 500. As always, thank you for watching, and remember to stay wild about wealth. Take care.